It is unknown how traditional Vietnamese Lunar New Year had begun, but it has become an important custom that is embedded in the heart of every Vietnamese person. In the cheerful atmosphere of the early days of the Lunar New Year 2020, not only the Vietnamese people, but also foreigners are very eager. Experiencing the Lunar New Year in Vietnam, where there are cultural, linguistic, or traditional differences, has left unforgettable impressions on those foreigners. Greetings from Sharing Vietnam on VTC 10 Net Việt. On the occasion of the Lunar New Year 2020, in today's program, let's meet with a Japanese friend and see how she feels about the Lunar New Year here in Vietnam. And may I introduce you to Miss Naomi Kitahara, UNFPA Representative in Vietnam. Thank you for joining our interview today. The first question is, how do you feel about the Tết atmosphere here in Vietnam?
I like the whole atmosphere of Tết in Vietnam. It's the celebration time, and buildings, streets, and the offices and the houses, they're all colorful, nicely decorated. So it's a happy season. I like it very much.
In your opinion, what are the similarities and the differences between the celebration of New Year here in Vietnam and other countries like in Japan that you know?
Yes, I mean there are similarities and differences. Similarity is that it's the time of festive season, and everybody gets united, and we welcome the new year and good fortune for the new year. And whatever happened in a year before, we set that aside, and then we begin a new chapter in life. So that's a similarity, but the difference is that the way maybe we celebrate. I think if I compare with my home country in Japan, New Year, by the way, Japan no longer celebrates the Lunar New Year. It's a solar New Year. But when we celebrate on the 1st of January, it's more quiet and tranquil and less colorful. And then that's probably one difference. And we do, just like in Vietnam, we do prepare a lot of food and different food. So it's not just variety, but also quality of food is different. And I understand Vietnam is the same, and then each one has its meaning. Health and prosperity and happiness and so forth. So each ingredient, each types of food has different meanings, and that's exciting to see that. And but in more recent years, there has been a recognition that this is a big burden on women who are in charge of cooking. So in Japan, more and more people actually order food from restaurants and hotels and shops, so that the women don't have to spend hours and hours in cooking. I remember in my childhood, I spent a lot of time with my mother to prepare for food, but these days that the catering service is available, so it's more convenient for women. And since this falls in a very cold season of the year in Japan as well, but it's colder than Vietnam, we don't have so many varieties of flowers. So to decorate and to welcome the new year, we usually use a bamboo tree. And it's a different kind of decorations, but the big bamboo tree is prepared to welcome the new year. And also in Vietnam, we use a sticky rice, so it's similar, but in a different ways.
This is the first time that you celebrate the Lunar New Year here in Vietnam. So what activities do you often enjoy for the first days of the Lunar New Year?
We as a family, we go to Da Nang to see the Tết, so it will be the first experience, and that will be exciting. But last weekend, my husband and I joined an event organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for Diplomatic Community, and so that we can experience some part of Tết celebrations. So we had an opportunity to prepare sticky rice, and that was actually fun, a lot of fun. And so we were explained why sticky rice for the New Year should be square, and then it's good to know that the reason of the square sticky rice. Preparation of the sticky rice came quite naturally to me because we also eat sticky rice in Japan. But again, for the sake of being convenient, we usually these days use a sticky rice cooker. And we don't use it manually. So it's a matter of pressing the button and then sticky rice is prepared. So, there are differences. But then I like that traditional way of making sticky rice because that's the process of socialization also. We talk, we discuss, and we ask questions. And then I like that process of preparation.
In Vietnam, many people think that the number of peach blossoms will correspond to the luck that the family will have in the new year. That comes, more people are buying those trees. The bustling atmosphere of people picking dead flowers in Vietnam has made foreigners like Naomi feel like and want to be part of it. As one of the famous flower planting areas of Hanoi, Nhật village has retained these traditions for so many years. Nhật peach blossom has become a trademark of Hanoi and becomes indispensable for every occasion of Tết. In the bustling atmosphere of the early spring days, Miss Naomi Kitahara, Chief Representative of the United Nations Population Fund in Vietnam, also visits temples and pagodas and prays for the best things to come in this new year. Tây Hồ Palace is more brilliant with the red colors of lanterns, green color of young buds, and a pure space in that atmosphere. In Vietnam, the custom of visiting temples and pagodas is often not simply to do the sightseeing, but also it is the way for each person to express his or her gratitude to Buddha, the gods, and the saints being worshipped in the temples and pagodas. For Naomi Kitahara, visiting temple at the beginning of the new year is to pray for the best in the new year for her family members and the people around. Coming to pagodas is not just about praying. This is a chance for Naomi Kitahara to enjoy an aroma of burning incense and flowers. It helps her demolish all the stresses and worries of the previous year. Therefore, each time coming to temples and pagodas, Naomi often feels relaxing. Visiting pagodas at the beginning of a new year, harmonizing in the spiritual atmosphere, seeing a new spring, new faces smiling, and beautiful handwritings helps Naomi Kitahara indulge in a festive space with full of hope for good luck, peace, and love in the new year. You also had a visit to Nhật Flower Garden here in Hanoi. It is very famous for peach blossom. So how do you feel for this visit?
Yeah, I think Vietnam is lucky, and then I hope people know that. Vietnam is a very lucky country because Tết falls in a season where a variety of flowers, many flowers are available. And I was very happy to see peach trees and also in the streets and in the markets, the tangerine trees and the pomelo trees and all sorts of flowers are available. And it's really enriching to see this kind of flowers, and it really increases the quality of our life in Vietnam.
During the Lunar New Year, you also had the visit to the temples and also visiting the streets here in Hanoi. So how do you feel for those visits?
Yes, I liked it a lot. And then also we saw different decorations of the temple and to welcome the new year, and then also different shops for the new year, and also there were those masters who could write your wishes in Chinese letters, and that I found it quite fascinating. And then I was explained that in Vietnam people still believe that to make wishes to ancestors it has to be written that form. And so to understand that part of culture was quite stimulating for me.
So what activities or the customs of the Vietnamese Lunar New Year do you like the best for this first time celebrating the Lunar New Year here?
I think this is the moment for families and friends to get together, and then I like that sense of unity. And because in life we are never alone, and we live with our families, we live with our friends, relatives. So everybody getting united together, including ancestors coming home. And then I think that's a very exciting part of culture that I hope that Vietnam continues to celebrate, and so that we really enjoy the New Year. And that's the best part for me that I like in Vietnam state.
For the new year 2020, what will be the priority of UNFPA here in Vietnam?
The year 2020 is actually very important year for the United Nations. We are celebrating 75th year anniversary of the United Nations, and we have only 10 years left to achieve Sustainable Development Goals. So 2020, we will be marking as the year of action for the United Nations. So it's a very important year. And for UNFPA in particular, there are 4 priorities. First one is given the census, population census, which was launched in December last year. We will be supporting the production of monographs and also in-depth analysis. And that includes the emerging issues in Vietnam, such as low fertility and aging. So that's very important part of research that we will be doing. Secondly, Youth Development Law was submitted to the National Assembly last year. So that has to be finalized and approved this year. And we will be supporting the implementation phase of the Youth Development Law. Thirdly, we will be launching the second study on the gender-based violence in March. And then we will be putting in place some of the critical interventions to prevent and effectively respond to gender-based violence. So that's the third area. Lastly, in the area of sexual and reproductive health, we will be reinforcing our efforts to further reduce maternal deaths, and also strengthening sustainable financing of the sexual and reproductive health interventions, including cervical cancer. So we will be having the exciting year as well, and we are fully confident that we will be achieving expected results for the population in Vietnam, especially women and young people.
We have been talking about the priority of UNFPA here in Vietnam. So what about your own wishes for the Lunar New Year 2020?
I have 2 wishes. One is in office, I would like my staff to be happy and really have a lot of fun in their respective work. So that's my first wish. My second wish is that good health and happiness for my family who are here with me in Vietnam. One is actually studying abroad, but I would like my family members to be happy as well.
New Year has come, so on this occasion, do you have any wishes that you would like to pass on to our TV viewers?
Right. Okay, I wish every Vietnamese person a lot of happiness and prosperity in 2020, filled with joy and laughter. And I really hope that the Vietnamese people will be happier and happier, and a lot of development will come in 2020. Thank you.
Once again, thank you for joining our interview, and on this occasion, we'd like to wish you good luck, good health and prosperity in the year 2020. It is the year of the rat.
Yes, thank you very much.
And that's all we have for this episode of Sharing Vietnam today. For comment and feedback, don't hesitate to write to us at sharingvietnam@netvietTV.net. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.